it's a sweet end. Right before you're gone, there's no remorse, no grief, just tranquility. But the dread sets in when you're hauled out of the water. I want to drown again.
And history is fabricated, completely fabricated, all of it. We used to think, well, you know, the Dark Ages, we don't know what that is. We realised that they invented the Dark Ages and just put that in there to push a whole bunch of stuff back in the past. And we realised, you know, some of history might be wrong, but no, it's all fabricated. The whole lot is fabricated. An interesting thing is the architecture we find all around the world, in all of our cities, that old Gothic style architecture, incredibly intricate design, and people look at it and say, oh, that's just the way they did things in the old days. A lot of those buildings, like, they're so beautiful. The design of those buildings is so beautiful. And think about it, if we lived in a feudal culture, if we lived in a culture where you had to go out and work for a living and earn a wage in order to pay to be alive, you would never have had the time or the inclination to construct buildings that look like that and function in the way they did. These buildings were created as artistic statements. I mean, they were functional, they were power sources, they were generators. They used to generate their own free electricity, all sorts of things. But they were constructed in such a way that the beauty was a part of it. You just wanted to celebrate what you were creating. We don't do that sort of stuff anymore. Just the beauty of those buildings and the incredible complexity of those buildings is a great indication that we didn't live in this pay-to-be-alive society that we're living in now. Tartaria was all over the world. It was an advanced culture that had free energy. It was based on etheric energy, and it existed up until around about 200 to 250 years ago. We think even like the earliest would be about the mid-1700s. It maybe was destroyed, possibly even a little bit later than that. And around about 1880, the late 1800s, they repopulated the world with children. And then they taught them whatever history they wanted. And you've got to wonder where all the children came from. Just look up foundling homes and foundlings and orphan trains across the United States, across Europe. They were everywhere, children everywhere. I've often referred to the earth as a people farm. We're living in a people farm, and people don't really realise it. I think of each country as its own separate pen, and what they've done now at the end is just harvest time, and they're stock taking. They've closed all their pens, they're doing their stock taking, they're harvesting all those souls that they can get, leading them into the mainframe. And it's a natural progression from what happened in Tartaria. I mean, this will be the complete loss of human consciousness if they are able to lead us in there and actually able to get away with this. It will be the end of humanity. But when you really look at what we had, I mean, it's incredibly inspiring to see the art and to see the ancient history that's right there in our own cities, if you just go out and look around your city with the right eyes.
And it's important to remember this, that this is a pattern that repeats itself throughout history.